Known for being that one game with the good graphics that annihilated PCs back in the day, how does Crysis as a whole stand in the current gen market? I'm Anthony from the Beta Network, and in today's video, I'll be reviewing Crysis and displaying some side-by-side footage from the original and remastered version that I'll tag in along the way. So let's check it out. From the get-go, it's inherently obvious that Crysis draws a lot of inspiration from the Halo series, specifically in the art direction and game design, but it is a well-commended aspect in this case. Crysis amps up that futuristic tone with the iconic nanosuits, basically versatile armor sets that grant the wearer special combat-oriented functions and abilities. And apparently, they're available in 2020. I'll take 5, please. But seriously, what's awesome about the nanosuits is their tactical adaptability. Nomad, the protagonist, can camouflage himself with the environmental cloak, opt for strength and fatally throw enemies into each other, choose speed to whip around the battlefield and gain the upper hand, or focus on armor to gain a shield buff in the throes of a firefight. The amount of fun you'll have testing out the suit's capabilities in and outside of battle adds so much depth and richness to the experience, compared to more straightforward first-person shooter offerings. These powers allow the player to approach the campaign's missions in a bunch of different ways, notably due to how immense these battlegrounds are. Believe me when I say, some of the environments and enemies in this game are big. Mega big. Probably a little too excessive on occasion actually, as some sections have you walking for minutes at a time between objectives, but the overall scope does work well in its favor. Back to the action, Nomad can propel himself with pace underwater and remain undetected, save ammo and take down enemies individually with hand-to-hand combat, or go guns a-blazing with armor in a more traditional FPS experience. It's little touches like this that make the Crysis gameplay formula fresh and exciting. To tackle the harder difficulties of Crysis, understanding how the functions operate mechanically are crucial to survival. Hence, you'll probably figure out that spamming the cloak ability will quickly become a staple in your arsenal, as being able to turn literally invisible for a short time can change the tide of battle dramatically. Especially useful in smaller scale encounters, enemies can be easily neutralized before they even realize what's happening, or flat out avoided with discreet, precise movements. If you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you hit that subscribe button and press all on the bell notifications. The more subscriptions we get from viewers like yourself, the more we can grow, and the more content we can deliver straight to your YouTube homepage. Thanks for your support. The cloak is a somewhat game-breaking mechanic at times though, and it can make the adventure seem a little too easy on occasion. To be fair, it does offer a stealth-like approach to Crysis, which is a big plus, complementing that guerrilla warfare-like atmosphere. Speaking of game-breaking, the AI would sometimes glitch out on occasion, getting stuck on geometry or be caught staring at walls for some reason while they're patrolling. These bugs only appeared a handful of times, but they were blatantly obvious when they did, sucking out some of the immersion factor. That being said, the enemy AI does put up a strong fight. They'll spread out and flank Nomad's last known location or try to overwhelm him with sheer numbers. Their combined damage output can be pretty devastating too. The shooting controls feel nice and tight, thankfully, and from an audio-visual perspective, there's a real weight and impact to the sounds and feedback of the weapons. Adding to the experience, there's some tank, aircraft, and vehicular sections which all work decently well, and most of the environments are physically destructible, almost always leading to bonus casualties. Big win. You'll even find a tinge of horror elements later on in the game, but I won't spoil it for first-timers. Adding additional layers of depth to the short but sweet 10 to 12 hour campaign. Transitioning to story and characters, unfortunately, this is not where Crysis shines. The tale being told here is mediocre sci-fi at best, and most of the cast feels very tropey, to say the least. Pretty much everyone just barks orders at each other. The dialogue coming across as super generic army and science lingo that doesn't leave much of an impression. I did laugh a few times, I must say, at the character named Psycho. He's actually really funny.
Man, I gotta get me one of those.
Yeah, like Uncle Sam's gonna spend millions to protect your scrawny ass, Johnson.
Hell, you won't be mouthing off when I've got my super suit. I'll go ninja on your ass.
Now that I'd like to see.
There's no way near enough spotlight on the emotional core of the characters, instead focusing more on the mission objectives and topics at hand. The lackluster story scenes just happen. Then they move on like nothing's wrong. It's all spectacle, minimum substance. The music and instrumentation by Inonzur, on the other hand, have a full sounding texture and presence to them, fitting the ambiance of each scene quite well. The melodies themselves aren't the most memorable, but the majority of tracks get the job done adequately. I love the usage of environmental and animal sounds in some of the tracks, like a radio voiceover or tiger growl. Cool touch. For those who enjoyed the Crysis multiplayer back in 2007, I'm sad to say that it won't be returning for the current edition. Crysis Remastered is purely for the single player experience, and not much else. This also means the 2008 side story expansion called Warhead won't be included or available to buy separately either. A massive missed opportunity by Crytek to bring back the multiplayer scene and expanded material there. Be sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't, so you won't miss out on any of our videos. And while you're still there, why not check out Green Man Gaming? They have a ton of awesome games available at great prices, so click that link in the description to save on a range of other great titles. Hope you guys enjoy the game, and I'll see you all in the next video.